amazing kids, you know. This guy was once an amazing kid who grew up.
But he's still an amazing guy.
I'm getting to that part. That's part of the whole.
Bury the lead.
Go with it, Ryan. Go with the intro.
Following your lead.
He grew up as the world's most beloved wizard, Harry Potter. Since then, he's gone on to film, to stage, to TV. Now he stars in TBS comedy series Miracle Workers, Oregon Trail. Coming to us from the Dominican Republic is Daniel Radcliffe. DR in the DR.
Hello, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hi, how are you? Are you having a good time there, or are you working there?
I'm working here, but I am also having a very good time here.
Excellent.
It's like whenever I'm Zooming with anyone back in England, I'm like trying to hide the beautiful surroundings and like palm trees from the background. I'm like, I'm not in a gorgeous place while you're stuck at home. I'm so sorry.
But I'm just saying, if we were on assignment there in the DR, Kelly and I, while we're working, we'd only be thinking about what we're going to do as soon as we're finished with work.
Right.
So what is it that you're doing down there that's fun?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to take too much because I am supposed to be working. It's a lot of beaches. It's a lot of chilling on beaches. And there's been like a couple of like boat trips, like with like a small group from the crew, but it's kind of, there's still, COVID is still a thing here, so you're still, you're limited in
what you can do. Yeah, of course. But it is, I will say, like the most beautiful people and the most beautiful beaches. Really, like extraordinarily pretty.
Yeah, it's on the first day of the job, I was in a boat going to the location that we were filming at, and just like a flying fish just came out of the water and just skimmed alongside us for like 30 seconds. And I was like, yeah, this is just how I get to work.
Cue the fish. Yeah. Cue the fish.
I think last time we were talking with you, you were way into Lego. Did you bring those along?
Yes, I brought one thing along with me because it also has a practical use. But Lego is hard to travel with. It does tend to get damaged, and then you have to reassemble it. Or if you take some and then build some, now you're like, oh no, I have this massive thing that I have to get home with me. So yeah, I limited the amount that I brought with me. But I got given a Lego chess set for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And yes, as you can see there, with one of the tropical backgrounds I'm hiding from my English friends. Yeah, as you can see, we lost a pawn in transit and we replaced it with some spare pieces. We called it Hoggle. That's now the name of that pawn. Yeah, it's very good for like passing the time on set.
Don't you find the pawn always gets lost in general? Doesn't even have to be. Yeah, always.
Yeah, exactly. And then you make the pieces out of Lego, and I'm even more destined to lose them at some point.
Are you good at chess? Is this something that you're skilled at? No?
I'm not good at chess. I'm playing with one of my best friends, who's also like my assistant, is a guy called Sam, and he is very good at chess and has tried to get me into it for years. And this year I finally cracked. And I am very into it, but I'm also very bad at it. So it's a lot of losing, but that's all part of the process.
It's funny, we were talking about this before, but everybody sort of credits the Queen's Gambit with this resurgence of chess, at least in America. But I go back to Harry Potter. I believe that that's really what sparked kids' interest in chess early on, at least my kids.
I was made aware recently that people are trying to recreate the chess scene from the first movie on TikTok. I still haven't actually seen any of them, but apparently the recreating Harry Potter scenes has become like a thing on TikTok, and that seems like the hardest scene to recreate. The one, I'm assuming they're talking about the one with the giant chess pieces.
Of course, right,
yeah, that just seems very ambitious, but good for them.
We struggled with it ourselves when we tried to recreate it.
It was here on the show,
it was a tall ask,
we'll send it to you, and maybe if you want to repost it, whatever.
Sure. Not asking too much of you. No worries. We'll come back with Daniel telling us about his latest comedy series, Miracle Workers, Oregon Trail, after the break.
Still ahead on Live. We'll try a recipe for steak fajitas.
Glorious day as we are gathered here together to mourn the loss of one of our brethren, cruelly taken in his prime due to cholera. Which reminds me, please stay 6 feet apart. Yes, good. Nobody's doing it. Okay, moving on.
That's very funny.
There is a scene from Daniel Radcliffe in the wildly popular series Miracle Workers.
6 feet.
I get it. I got it. He's explaining the humor to me.
6 feet under 6 feet.
I feel like it's, well, I don't want everyone to think that the whole series is like an allegory for COVID, because it's definitely not, and no one wants that. But there are definitely like a few like good references in it that hopefully, people will find funny.
So this time, tell us what you're doing, where you are, who you're playing. Break it down.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd season in the show, which is an anthology season, a series. So I think it'll make even more sense now that there's 3, because if people were maybe confused, like the first series was in heaven, the second series was in the dark ages, what is happening? We just like jump time periods every time and keep the same group of actors, but all change characters and setting. This time we are on the Oregon Trail. I play a preacher called Ezekiel Brown, who is like trying to save his town and get them to Oregon, but very quickly realizes that he does not have the skills to do that. And then in the first episode, he meets Benny the Teen, played by Steve Buscemi, who is an outlaw who kind of is hiding from the law and uses the town to sort of hide from the law and tries to get them to Oregon too.
You two actually may be, I mean, it is so bonkers when you think about, like, you're both so good with dramatic acting, but comedy is really it's your sweet spot.
I have to really like talk myself into doing anything that's not comedy, honestly. It's like comedy's just so much fun to do, and particularly when you're doing it for the 3rd season with a group of people that you know and love already. It's just like this was my first job back during COVID. It was the first job I'd done since sort of the break, and it was just like a dream to come back to this one.
Well, it's a dream for us.
Enjoy your time down there. Continued success. Great to have you on. Hope to see you in person soon.
Love to see you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Be safe. Stay safe. Okay.
Miracle Workers Oregon Trails season premiere July 13th on TBS. When we come back, how to plan a